Welcome to today's edition of Citizens Dialogue, where top stories making headlines in the society will be discussed. First, we'll bring you the headlines. Market to remain shut until Monday, says Anambra government. At the center of it all, Tinubu orders cleared to spend up to 10 billion naira on presidential campaigns. In a measure critics, election aren't won by showmanship. Wike fires at political rivals. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll dive in. Stay with us. To help us break down these headlines is the political resource person, Kings Ojalo, and I am Cassie Tony. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cassie. It's my pleasure being here again on this segment.
It's your pleasure being here again. How are you? Have you recovered? Have you recovered from the election saga?
Well, as usual, we won't allow that coincidence to be a distraction to us. So we just have to move on.
All right.
So let's hope for the better next election.
All right. So we'll not allow that to be a distraction.
No, not at
so
all.
We'll forge ahead to this Monday sit at home. We could recall that on the 26th of January, the governor of Anambra State, in person of Soludo, shut down some market. That's Onitsha main market for 1 week, because of the people refused to comply to the Monday sit at home. And then recently, that was Monday, February 23rd, he also shut down Nnewi Auto Spare Parts Market. With the people are still following that sit at home. They don't want to change. Now, you could recall that I told you that this whole cancellation of Monday sit at home is going to take some time before these people actually adjust to it. You know, it's like a body language, like you're used to a particular thing. System. And all of a sudden, you're asked not to do that thing anymore. Your body needs to adjust. And you were like, no, the governor is doing the right thing. So what then happens now? Because I see these people, they are still adjusting. Although some of them have gone about their daily activities on Mondays, but some are still not getting used to this Monday whole thing. So what do you have to say about all of this?
First of all, we heard from the special advisor on the trade market, that is Chief Everest Uber, who also, avoided one or two coincidences and confrontation from those who were protesting during this recent closure. Now, the thing is, just as you've stated, you understand, it's just like a body language.
Okay.
And it will take time. This is a system that has been used to the people of Anambra. And those who are traders of the market, of the popular Onitsha market, you understand, and where it also affected is this
auto spare
part and thereabout. You understand, this market has sections of possessions and possessions. So definitely it will definitely take time for these people to be able to adopt to that system. I think that is what the governor of Anambra State, Governor Soludo, should understand. It's not going to be an easy task, and the closure of markets, which just occurred recently, I don't think that is the best action the governor would have taken. I believe there would have been more occurrence of awareness, you understand, to the people, rather than, taking this action. Yes, it's a disciplinary miss, which we all know, you understand, but we are humans, you understand. It will take time for people to be able to adapt and deviate to a particular system that they are not used to. Yes, we recall that it has not been a formality in Anambra affair, but with the crisis, the sit-at-home orders given to the no political actors, the agitators of Biafra and thereabout, it has triggered fears in the minds of the citizens, which they think it will cause them harm. But the governor has come out to say, okay, I am providing you a security that will secure your life, property, but you must do what? Comply to my orders. You must be, you must make sure that this coincidence of a sit at home must come to an end in this state. But unfortunately, most people has not still yet, be used to that system. So it is best advice for the governor to still look into the matter rather than trying to, shut down businesses, because it's going to affect them. You understand? Fine, they might have disobeyed those orders. But at the long run, the governor should see the negative aspect of it. You understand? He said from Monday till next week Monday, and if they don't still comply, probably one or two individuals is still going to take he's still going to take another action.
You
so that is approximately if
something.
it happens again, because from the seriousness of the governor, if it happens again, that is, we are talking about 2 whole consecutive weeks that the governor is going to take this action. Let him look at the negative effect it will cause the state. Let him look at the losses, you understand, which will happen. Yes, there have been warnings and extensions during it, including Commissioner for Information, Dr. Law Mefo, who has also warned that if these people constantly disobey those orders, I'm talking about the entire state generally. Now, mind you, not just only Onitsha market, there are still some markets, even in the whole of Southeast. I'm talking about Ebonyi, we are talking about Imo and Dereba. There are still some markets who are still, going with that sit-at-home order. Yes, so it is for governors, most especially governors who in the Southeast Forum now, to wake up, to make sure there's a how will I put it? There's a continuous awareness towards it. It's not just by taking action. Just imagine now, okay, for example, here in Port Harcourt now, because some traders refuse to open and thereabout, imagine the governor of Rivers State coming to say, okay, the whole of Romokoro should be closed, the whole of Maiwama. Do you know how it will affect the system? What about people who are, purchasing items, goods, who have commodities to sell, sent to different locations that will help, set some amenities, give some, how will I put it now, those who are in need of some commodities instantly. Don't you think it's going to affect their daily activities? Yes, I am not in support of that sit-at-home whatever, but I think the governor should also, deliberate more by bringing
follow them
bringing a peaceful dialogue towards it. You understand? So these people are individual human beings. You understand? So they should find another routine on how to make sure that these orders are fully implemented, rather than taking these strong measures towards the people. I don't know if you understand.
All right,
they were the one who said the other time that closure of market of every Monday, the state loses a whole sum of 8 billion naira. Now imagine if you continue with these actions continuously, how much is the state? So the governor should see that it's his action that is making this the state lose so much allocation if he continues this action. So there should be another measures taken towards this, rather than trying to give orders of closing market, sending ESCOs and officials to make these strong actions towards the people.
Moving away from that to the election, we all know that election is fast approaching, and the 2026 Electoral Act has been signed into law. Now, we could recall that in 2022, the 2022 Electoral Act actually stated that presidential candidates are to spend 5 billion naira for their election campaign. Now, this new Electoral Act says presidential candidates are to spend 10 billion naira for electoral campaign. That's adding extra 5 billion to the already existing 5 billion, making it 10 billion naira. Now, looking at all this money that is being spent, and councillorship have their own different money allocated to them. Now, this money is enough to solve the major problem that we have in our country, which is insecurity. So why spend so much amount on an election campaign?
Well, I like the fact where you raise, Cassie, I like the fact you really struck towards that face. Look, that, when they can use such money to solve insecurity problem and stuff like that. First, it was actually signed by the president himself, a newly signed law by the president. That is February 18, 2026, which candidates are now permitted to spend, significant high amounts. You understand? And I think it's also still signed in that law that it must not exceed beyond that and thereabout. Now, if you look at this new reformment, you will see that grassroots has really lost their course in terms of political affairs of Nigeria. Now, what do I mean? I mean those who are, if you are not financially buoyant, if you are not well connected, because if you look at the Nigeria system now, you need to have a godfatherism. You need to be fully financially buoyant by any means. illegal or legal, you should just, our system now don't tend to check records of individuals who tend to participate in the political affair of Nigeria. All you just need to do is to have money. That is what is happening. So those who of the grassroots are fully denied by this means. Now looking at the money for just campaign, now imagine money to purchase tickets. We've not even gone into that. Tickets to buy form for presidential election and thereabout. Now these are finance that should just be used for campaign. I was even thinking, or I was even aiming that the lawmakers will say, okay, for reducing such amount to a very, very low a level that at least the citizens shouldn't take it as if probably it is the federal allocations that is being for the rich. That is what I was even expecting the lawmakers to do. Look, they are really, it's a slap to the face of Nigeria. Now look at the before it was even 5 billion. Now why should just campaign be why should such amount rather demand such huge amount of money for just campaign? That is the question we should ask ourselves. Of what aim does campaign contribute positively to the lives of people? That is the question. Campaign is all about going there, create awareness of how your administration is going to be. What else? Now, if you look at what is attached to all these things, Cassie, you clearly see that the reason why this amount of money is being raised or is being passed into law. Thank you. For the beneficiaries, those who are passing it to law has made it possible so that them too will benefit from it. That is what it's all about. Because I don't see why you should be using 10 billion naira for just campaign, where you can place that money into a particular budget that will at least reduce some tensions in the country. Like, okay, example, we are talking about a grid, electricity grid. What has the president said towards it? We are talking about, just as you mentioned, insecurity. What has the president said towards it? Okay, even the electronic transmission act that they killed recently. If they say, okay, let us put this money into that sector to make sure that there is network provided in every locality of Nigeria, so that the election will be transmitted electronically for our vote to be clearly seen. Would that not be a good thing? Now, just for campaign. You can see how Nigeria, when I usually say that the democracy of Nigeria has been stolen, has been hijacked totally, it looks as if probably I'm tarnishing the image of Nigeria, but that is what is happening. And the earlier Nigeria wake up from their slumber towards these people, the better for them. I don't know if you understand. Yes, we know a whole lot of countries in Africa are worse corrupt than this, but at least Nigeria should be, how would I put it? It should be it should show a good legacy for their own self. What am I trying to say is that should be different. Okay, just imagine.
Talking about the electoral act, the Senate leader, that's Opeyemi Bamidele, said that the 2026 electoral act actually recommends 2 years imprisonment and a fine of 500,000 or 2 billion for people who are buying and selling of votes and impersonation and result manipulation.
Opeyemi, or whatever I call his name, the action that took place recently in this council election. Please, how many people face penalties?
Are they arrested?
How many people were jailed? Okay, look at the amount of, look at the presidential, look at 10 billion. Governorship campaign amount, 3 billion. Okay, just imagine like my state now that does not have good road or, electricity, and there is no good water supply to homes. We'll be spending 3 billion on just campaign when there are so many things needed to be solved.
But when you say your state, is it Edo State?
Of course.
So just mention the name so that we know that Edo State.
But that's just the truth. Okay, look at even senator to spend 100 million. Just is for one individual. Just want to campaign for yourself. 100 million each. Count the number of senators in that house. Okay, look at the amount of a House of Representatives, 70 million. And increase to 250. Sorry, I forgot to even mention the accurate amount for senators, 500 million. Look at State House of Assembly now, from 30 million to 100 million. Just imagine the amount of money.
And councillorship as well.
Exactly. For one individual should just spend just to make sure his name is nullified and notable to the society. Tell me, where are we heading to? Where are we heading to? Instead of this one, what is the essence of trying to create a big occasion when you can just be okay? Look at what Peter Obi, look at how he demonstrated himself in Abuja recently. At least he went to a nearby community and people came out to cheer. He didn't spread what they call it, campaign, whatever. People came out to cheer. Even people were even commemorating him on his he just stood in
those people that came out. How many of them voted during the election?
Of course, now they will definitely vote, but we know the system now. Let's be honest. Was it not one of the ADC member who was stood against the councilship election towards? He has taken it to court, but the bottom line is, look, he's going to waste all his effort because the country now, is favoring those who are in the who are standing with the current administration. The earlier we realize this, the earlier those great opposition realize this, the better for them. So there should be a joint coalition from every other political party on how to stand this administration, or else there's nothing for Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much. So they should actually join the ruling party so that their sins can be forgiven. Now, still dwelling in election.
Yeah.
Wike, our almighty FCT minister, during his handover of 54 construction equipment to the 18 local governments in Edo State, Wike stated that election is won through performance and not by showmanship. He cited politicians who publicly display they go publicly to display sympathy, just to get sympathy from citizens. They want to bring themselves to the level of the citizens so that the citizens will feel like, oh, they feel their pains. These ones are actually, they want their interests at heart. And then we can actually record that in 2020, Adams Oshomole, the former Edo State governor, was seen on camera buying corn in the streets. And then Amechi, during the protests, that's early this year, he was also seen buying corn on the streets. And our beloved Peter Obi too was seen buying corn.
Including granite.
Yes, I was coming to that, including granite. Now, in all of this, please, who exactly is Wike referring to? Is it Amechi, which we know is not Amechi is referring to? Or is it Ashomole or Peter Obi? Who is it referring to? That election is not about showmanship. And I know the reason why he said this. He's saying it because Peter Obi was going about campaigning in ABJ for the councillorship election, which APC hijacked. So I know he's referring to that fact.
Now, Oshomole should be out of this because, Oshomole and Wike, if you look at it, they are two, how will I use it? Two CCTV for the president. Oshomole might be in another end, while Wike is in another, but they are two working for the same party. Okay. Let's be honest with ourselves. So if you look at the statement, you should know that it's referring to the opposition, the great opposition, which might seem to be, how will I put it now? Their major opponent that might stand them coming to 2020. So he's referring to those, Peter Obi is in the ADC, Amechi is also in the ADC. So definitely we know who he's referring to here. But let me tell Wike something. He has made it very, very clear. He has said it all. And I really like the fact that, some people just make some statements without even examining first, without even trying to synchronize their own affair. He said that, it's by performance and not by eating corn.
Exactly.
He's very, very correct. Okay, let me ask him. Is it just, the current administration now, is he trying to say that President Tinubu administration is just only reformed only in FCT development? Is it what he's trying to say?
Because he mentioned that he's not going to challenge the results because the president is actually working in ABJ.
That is what I'm saying. He's working. Okay, is the ABJ or Abuja? How will I put it? Or the FCT, whatever they call it? Should that be the only target of the president? This is I urge Nigerians to follow this statement of Wike. Yes, he has said it very clearly. Kasi, we could recall the incident has been happening in was it not Taraba, which day that people lost their life, where a letter was given to a local government somewhere in I think in the Kwara, Kwara or so, that they must pay a huge amount of 100 million first, or else if they don't pay it, that they are going to come for them and do what they usually do. Recently, you see that communities packing their belongings, crying to an unknown destination. Wike has said it all. That is all about performance. It's not by eating corn. Tell me, what performance has President Tinubu done?
And he's not even eating corn.
Okay, what performance has President Tinubu done to stop such menace? A city president, for that matter, who is known to be the chief of staff of the country, should at least, seeing that public news, you are supposed to, is it until they start killing those people now, as you usually do, you have to start sending battalions to that community? Why not take the action now? Look at the menace that happened in Lagos airport yesterday, and he's saying that it's all about performance. An international airport without adequate machineries to be able to stop fire incidents. Look at what happened in Ondo State, Plain of Monarch. See the whole scenarios happening in the whole of Northeast, and you are saying that it's all about performance. You have said it all. I think, and it will be an unfortunate thing if Nigeria does stick to this statement of Wike. You have said it all. That is all about performance. What performance have the president done in order to stop the insurgencies? Because insurgency is the most tragic situation Nigeria is facing. It's probably because it's not affecting us in the south, or probably it is a little bit lighter in the southeast. That is why we are not taking it serious. If not, both of us won't be sitting here discussing this. That is just the truth, because the effect has not really come this way. That's why we are just taking it as if the one minister who will sit down in the FCC and say is not about eating corn and walking in the street. It's about performance. What performance has he done in the FCT, where there are still some local governments that are complaining of no lights? You understand? The FCT that still have what they call it, one chance activities. People being kidnapped on broad daylight. Is it not the same FCT? Is it not the same FCT? We could recall where this blogger by the name VDM, you could recall where he during election, look at a school in Koje. Look at how unkept and unrenovated that school is. A school that campaigns.
So this one now is directly to the FCT minister.
Exactly. And he's saying it's by performance. Then what performance are you talking about? So he has said it all. And
he has actually shot himself on the leg.
Exactly. So I hope Nigeria stick to the word of the FCT and use it against this present administration in order to get what we want. But these people, they are using Nigerians for should I use the word, case study, for gambling, and it's unfair. We are talking about a country that contains almost 200 million people. So what are we talking about? So Wike should be able to calculate before he speaks out, because he should know that he's one major public figure in the whole of Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Ojalo. So Wike should actually calculate his statement before he says, because this particular statement, he has actually shot himself on the leg. And Nigeria is not for gambling. That is from our amiable analyst. So thank you so much, King Ojalo, for joining us. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you, Cassie.
And we've come to the end of the show, Citizens Dialogue. Many thanks for staying tuned till I come your way again. It's a bye for now.